Hello, everyone, and welcome to my 1800 Affliction Warlock Guide for Dummies. If you're not good at WoW PvP, this video is for you because, hey, you gotta start somewhere, and believe me, I had to as well. Quick background, I started on Warlock in Shadowlands. I got Challenger, although I didn't really put in much effort because, to be honest with you, LFG is the actual worst experience. It ruined PvP for me until I took PvP somewhat serious in Dragonflight. Since then, I've hit 1800 in Solo Shuffle, Arena, and Rated Battleground Blitz for 4 straight seasons on Warlock. And my highest rating so far in WoW PvP has been 1957 on Feral Druid. This guy is for Solo Shuffle, although I pretty much ran the same build on Rated Battleground Blitz on my Warlock. And hey, I repeat again, I'm not claiming to be good at WoW or WoW PvP. This guide is not if you want to be a great warlock. This guide is if you want to get 1800, get that cool set, get the achievement. This guide's for you then. Also, on another side note, I'm extremely proud I got the Alliance Slayer title on my warrior, which means I had a bounty on my head in World PvP and killed 10 Alliance players without dying. Never thought I'd do that. Also, second side note, 1800, in my opinion, is an amazing achievement at WoW and is pretty much the only reason why I play WoW anymore. The game kind of stinks, in my opinion, but I do love PvP. The elite armor sets do not come back. And regardless of what anyone tells you, if you hit 1800, you're awesome. Don't believe me? Well, the data shows that you are, and that you're in the top 25 to 30% of all WoW PvPers. So 1800 is cool. Okay, so first, we're going to touch on race. Now, you can pick any race you want. It doesn't really matter. You could hit 1800 on whatever you enjoy, and I recommend that. However, for me, I started out first as an orc, and I did hit 1800 a few times, but when War Within started, I discovered that Void Elf was the way to go. It's easier, there's much more quality of life. And I'll start with the racials. First off, Spatial Rift, which is basically a teleport. This, to me, is a game changer for Warlock because you just press the button once and it's a free TP. It's amazing, and trust me, I'll touch on that later. And there's also two minor ones, three, I think, actually. There's no, that doesn't matter. Chill of Night reduces shadow damage by 1%. It's not nothing, but whatever. Entropic Embrace. This is let's see. Your abilities have a chance to empower you with the essence of the void, causing your damage and healing effects to deal an additional 5% as Shadow Frost for 12 seconds. Small DPS boost, but another one that's awesome is Preternatural Calm. Your spell casts are not delayed by taking damage. That is fantastic, and I don't know. Void Elf to me is just awesome. It will get you out of a lot of jams, and it's just good. And also, I think they look cool. Moving to gearing, gearing is very straightforward and simple. You want haste and versatility. In past seasons, I've tweaked the mastery a bit, but haste and versatility is the way to go. Go with that. Craft 2 rings, and one of the rings, you want to socket it with either the Cognitive Bloodstone, which, when a failed interrupt attempt, grants you precognition, which means you can't be interrupted, or the Enduring Renewal one, which, when you're crowd controlled, you will have reduced damage. Now, lately in the arenas, I haven't been getting really killed much. Like, I don't die a lot in arenas, and so I think the precog is better for me. But if you find yourself dying a little more, the Enduring Renewal socket will give you more survivability. And of course, your force set is a must. I didn't really start popping off until I had my force set. Basically, what it does is, well, the two-piece gives you the jackpot, which, you know, gives you haste, and, you know, casting a Dark Lair always hits a jackpot. And the force set is, it also increases unstable affliction by 50% and causes it to spread to up to 3 targets within 40 yards for 17 seconds. You need these for sure. And I skipped the legs. I just got the head, the shoulder, the chest, and the gloves. And basically that's it. And now for gearing up, I'll give you a tip. I actually hit 1800 with a couple of pieces of the Bloody Token gear. The Bloody Token gear, sure, you can use Honor gear, but ideally you want to hunt for the Bloody Tokens. which are easy. You can basically get them through world quests and world events, and they're very easy to get. There's lots of opportunity, especially if you're behind. You can always catch up. These are 681. I mean, these are practically conquest gear, and now they don't make rings and stuff like that, or necks, or trinkets, but your base armor, you want to fill it up with bloody token gear. Bloody token gear is awesome, and it's not hard to farm. Much easier to farm, in my opinion, than conquest or honor, even really. Oh, and by the way, one thing I forgot to mention, very important, your embellishments. I ran elemental focusing lens for both. For some reason, I bought pants through the crafting system, but I did put the embellishment on it, and I did put the embellishment on the ring. So 2 elemental focusing lenses, just a good DPS boost. It makes your spells do damage. Moving on with talents. To be honest, if you don't know who Supatees is, that's where I get my talents from primarily. He is a WoW PvP content creator, and I think he's the best at it because he covers almost every class. He's awesome. I highly suggest checking out his YouTube channel, and I will have my talents linked in the description, along with Supatees' Warlock Dressfire page, if you want to look at that. And, my macros will be there too in my description. And if I'm not winning, I will tinker with my talents sometimes, but usually I don't mess with them. Sometimes I will go into like Supatees or Maldiva is another amazing warlock who is awesome. And sometimes I'll go in their chat and ask them questions, and they're usually pretty friendly. But in reality, the only PvP setting I usually change anymore is I'll change my Gateway Mastery. And if I'm in a caster heavy lobby, I'll change another ward, which will reflect harmful spells back. Also, super important for me, I use the Grimoire of Sacrifice talent because, I'll be honest with you, man, I tried using the other one where you control your pet and do things with it. I'm not smart enough for that, and that's too much for me to do. So I just summon always the Fell Hunter because it gives you the interruptibility, and I just eat them, and that's it. And it gives you a little boost on your damage. So that to me is, I never change that anymore. I tried it once, like I said, and I can't do it. And, with their ability to counterspell, I do have a macro, and once in a blue moon, I'm able to, like, if there's like a triple caster lobby, I'll be able to like counter all three of them, but that's far and few because I'm not that quick witted. But usually, what I do before every match is when I have this, I will just like say like Mage's Arena 3. That's my Arena 3. I'll just do that. And usually in every lobby, there's for a round, there's usually one caster I really need to worry about, and I try to just focus on that when they're casting a spell. It can be overwhelming to keep track of 3 players, and like I said, we're trying to get to 1800. We're not trying to get the gladiator. So I think keeping it simple is usually the best way to go. Okay, so the next step is very important and is the key to success, in my opinion, to winning with Warlock in arenas, especially solo shuffle. It's defense, defense, defense. Okay, kite, kite, kite. So I use a method. I've nicknamed it the triangle method. So basically, what I do is I place my gate here. I'll move to this side, my portal there, and I try to play around here for a couple of reasons. One, I want them away from me as possible. So what I'll do is they'll come over here to chase me. I port. And then they come after me again. I wait, I wait, I wait. And I come. Okay, let's see, they're still on me. Let's see, they're still on me. Well, I use my racial. Boom, I'm away. And I'm over here again. And I just repeat the process. They're coming on me again. By this time, my portal should be up soon. Well, 12 seconds, 10 seconds. Hopefully I can live. And, just rinse and repeat that. Try to do that triangle. Now, if you don't have, obviously, the spatial rift, this still works, just not as good because that rift gets you out of things. But again, you just put your port down. Make sure it's by some cover, like some pillars, so when you do use it, you have a place to hide, and you try to stay. Now, this is what works for me. It may not work for you, but I found it very effective because in most cases, when they miss you once, like they miss you here, and then once you port, they leave you alone. And in reality, Once I do that a couple times, they just stop focusing me. And when they stop focusing you, that's when you make them pay because the DPS is really good. And here is how damage will work. First and foremost, you want to keep your dots up. Jinx, the PvP talent, will keep Agony and Corruption on a target with one button on your curse. And as long as you keep your dots up, you'll have shards all the time because Jinx costs one shard. Make sure you have Unstable Affliction on a target. You just want to keep your dots up and just keep running around, running around, running around, dodging, and kiting. So when you have all your dots up on a target and you have UA on them, make sure you have no Nightfall procs, and your burst will go like this. You will haunt, get a Nightfall proc, Soul Rot, Phantom Singularity, summon your Dark Lair, hit your Shadows, and then just spam Malefic Rapture till your finger breaks, really. I mean, you do so much damage, and especially if you have 3 targets dotted up. I always dot 3 targets. Even the healers, unless I'm playing with a mage, I don't want to break like their polys or anything like that. So I just I always keep my dots up because more soul shards, and when you spam those Malefic Raptures, it does more damage. Now the Dark Lair, it's important that you have all your dots on your target because it will extend the damage over time on all enemies by 8 seconds, which is amazing, and it will also last for 20 seconds, blasting its target for damage increased by 45% for each damage over time effect you have on the current target. So Dark Lair is really awesome, and just make sure you have all the dots on that you can before you use it. Very important. So here's the hardest part winning with Warlock. It's staying alive, not getting destroyed. Believe me, those double melee lobbies, they're there, especially early on. So how do you stay? Fear. Man, I'm going to say it 1,000 times. Fear will win you games. Fear will win you games. Fear is so potent. Fear will keep you alive. It's just great. And before I go for a kill, or if there's someone that's a really big problem and I'm going to die, I like to use a technique of maybe mortal coil them, see if I can get a trinket, or I like to mortal coil, and while they're coiled, I'll fear them for that extra duration, and that gives my healer time to catch up. And speaking of healers catching up, this I think is very important. One of the things I don't see people do, and trust me, I know this isn't just me saying this. I've healed a lot. I've healed a lot on multiple healers. And the biggest thing I see is DPS wait until they're going to die before they use their cooldowns. Don't do that. Do not do that. If you think you're going to die, immediately pop Dark Pact. And if you really think you're going to die, if you know they're going to go to town on you, Unending Resolve. Those will keep you alive. Now, Unending Resolve is a 3-minute cooldown. You want to save that for when you really, really need it. But spam your Dark Pact and spam your cookies, your Demonic Healthstones. Those, whenever you're losing life, use it. Dark Pact, it has a 45-second cooldown and it lasts for 20 seconds. By the time you use it and it's done, you're gonna have it back in no time. Just whenever you're getting hurt or someone's doing their cooldown, just smash that Dark Pact. Okay, just trust me. And you know why? Because I just assume when I'm DPS that my DPS teammate is not going to use his cooldowns. He's going to wait until he's about to die. And guess what happens when you wait till you're about to die? You use your cooldowns, and the healer uses their cooldowns. And you might not even need both sets of cooldowns. So I know if I use my Dark Pact early, even my Unending Resolve early, I'm saving my healer time and resources. Because by the time Dark Pact is back, I might not need my healer's cooldowns again because it'll be back in no time. Either way, like I said, assume your teammate's not going to have, using his cooldowns. So if your healer's not using their cooldowns on you right off the bat, hey, that's just more cooldowns for your teammate. Just assume he's not going to use his. That's the way I do it. And once with that mentality, I just started winning more at first, and then now that's what I do. And of course, let's be realistic. There's gonna be like some games where you waste your cooldowns. You might, and it might cost you the game, but I guarantee you will lose way more games by not popping your cooldowns early than you will wasting them when you didn't need them. In fact, it's very minimal. Um, so just use your cooldowns, use your fears, move around the map, get the heck out of dodge. Don't let them get you. Just move, move, move. Hide behind pillars, kite. So that's the best way to stay alive. Well, that's what got me to 1800. I think it works, and I think it might help you. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to give me a holler in the comments below. Be more than happy to help. And again, like I said, I'm no expert, man, but I did get to 1800 a couple times, and I'm not good at WoW. I'm an idiot. My hands do not work. So I think this guide can help you. If it helped me, if I can do it, you can do it because I'm not good. And hey, good luck to anyone trying. Go out there, get that 1800 set, enjoy PvP, have a blast. And until the next video, see you later. And that's all, folks.